Good evening, wrestling fans. Welcome back to Evolution of Pro Wrestling. Tonight, we are going to have the pleasure and distinct honor of interviewing a very unique individual. This gentleman is from San Juan, Puerto Rico. He's been all over the world. He's wrestled against many greats. We're going to be bringing on to the show Mr. Don Vega, indie superstar. Let's invite him in and see where he is. We're pretty interested in getting to know Mr. Don Vega's career, see how it's going to go about. Let's see. All right, he has been invited. Excuse me. Okay, well, we're waiting for Mr. Vega. We are going. Okay, we just sent him a message. Let's see. All right, and there he is. I'm gonna plug him in. And there he is, Mr. Don Vega. How you doing, sir?
What's going on? How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
You might want to raise up the volume just a little bit.
Can you hear me well now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right, let me see. So hold on.
All right. Are you hearing me now?
You have headphones?
Let me see. No, I'm doing it in the car. I don't have my headphones, man. I apologize for that, but I'm trying to make it work here.
All right. How about now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Cool. So, Mr. Vega, we interesting profile you got in professional wrestling. We've seen that you're from San Juan, Puerto Rico. I'm Puerto Rican myself.
Yeah.
Started at the age of I believe with 15. You're 1997. You debuted at the age of 15. How was it like when you first debuted in professional wrestling?
Definitely different times. Back then, it was more older gentlemen. Middle-aged guys. When I was starting out, there wasn't that many youngins my age, other than myself, probably one or two at the most in my area. Uh, it was difficult to get in. It's not like now that you have different schools, different people, and you could just, if you have the money basically to pay to go to a wrestling school, you could get in. Back in the day, even if you had money, you had to kind of earn your stripes. And not everybody was welcoming at that time, especially a kid, just hanging around grown men.
Well, not too many people understand that in professional wrestling you got to pay your dues. You know what I mean? Anywhere you go, you're gonna have to do it. But at the age of 15, that's a long career. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I also see that the age of 4 used to watch guys like TNT, Savio Vega, excellent, great from Puerto Rico, Ric Flair,
Mhm.
and Miguel Perez. I'm assuming this is why you were hooked with professional wrestling.
Yes. At the age of 4, I was originally born in New Jersey. We relocated back to Puerto Rico around that time, and my grandfather, he was a huge back in the day, Carlos Colon, Raiders, and back in the old Capital Sports Promotion, which is now the World Wrestling Council. And I got hooked. I can't say the typical you know I watch a particular match and I got hooked. I just got hooked with pro wrestling itself. I just, ever since I could remember, I just loved it.
Oh, that's interesting, man. I've been a fan of myself since I was 5, and I'm 38 now, so I can definitely
Okay.
relate to that. So,
All
um,
right.
we've seen that you wrestled guys like Tony Atlas, Hall of Famer, Bushwhackers, Tito Santana, another legend, Sergeant Slaughter, right? what was it to actually get in the ring with these guys?
Well, in a way, it was surreal, because like I said, I grew up watching, and you always have these dreams and hopes as a kid, but in reality, you don't really see yourself doing those things. I used to watch these guys on television, and fast forward years later to be able to be across the ring against these guys is surreal, and it's like going to like college, graduating high school and going to college and learning from these guys.
That I used to watch Hacksaw Jim Duggan with his matches. Tito Santana, of course, with his rivalry with Greg the Hammer Valentine. So I
Yes,
definitely understand what you're saying. So
yes, yes.
it's something you enjoy as a fan and being
Hmm.
professional wrestling too. So I see in 2005 you made your first appearance in International Wrestling Association. Tell us a little bit about that organization, boy, and tell us a good opponent you had in that organization.
Well, contrary to the World Wrestling Council, which was the premier federation in Puerto Rico, as Carlos Colon and all those guys. Uh, Fast forward, probably early 2000, Sabio Vega, Victor Quinones, and I think Miguel Perez started the International Wrestling Association, and they took it by storm, man, because they were working and bringing guys from the WWF at the time. I mean, if you go on YouTube, you'll see matches with like guys like Undertaker, Chris Benoit, Jericho. I mean, you name it, they worked for the IWA. So for a while, IWA became the WCW that took over. And in my first tour in 2005, there was guys like Bobby Roode, Petey Williams, Abyss. All those guys were working over there at that time. Uh, my first introduction into the IWA was actually Bushwhacker Luke Williams, which I had worked with years prior here in the Northeast. Was the guy that booked me in my first tour of Puerto Rico. Uh, Over there, that first tour I worked a guy by the name of Spectro. He was well known. I think he still wrestles in Puerto Rico as well, and a few others. This guy, Mr. Biggs, was another big name in the IWA and well known in Puerto Rico. Uh, but yeah, man, it was for me. That was pretty much making it because I grew up watching, the Puerto Rican product. That's what got me hooked. So going to like places like Pepin Cestero and Bayamon, that was a huge deal to wrestle in that place for me. And Acropolis and Manatee, which is, nearby of my family's town, which is Vega Baja. Uh, it's like a 15-minute ride from Vega Baja to Manatee, and wrestling in that Coliseum, which I went to shows there. It was a great experience.
Oh, that's amazing, man. I can't even imagine what type of experience that is, man. But that's intense going to an organization like that and you're hooked right away and damn, your career just starts going from there. And
Hmm.
in your career also, in 2007, you was brought up to do this skit with Prime Time. That must have been interesting because these guys, um, one of the late superstars that passed, but I'm sure they were funny
Yes.
as hell. You like tell us a little bit about that. What's that about?
Well, back around that time, the person that actually gave me my first tryout with WWE was a gentleman by the name of Mike Bucci. He was supernova in the old ECW, and then he became Simon Dean in the WWE. He was a talent agent there, and through these old seminars they used to do back in the day, where you would go in and they look at talent and stuff like that. I ended up getting my first break with WWE, and that actually was at the Garden, and then that's another arena that's going to Madison Square Garden for your first tryout in WWE. That's nerve-wracking on his own, and actually getting a spot to come out on the television show was another.
Yeah,
So
no, no, the Madison Square Garden. No, Madison Square Garden is definitely the house that WWE built. I'm
Yes.
from New York myself, so I've been there
Hmm.
many times to do wrestling events. So I definitely you can feel the atmosphere when you're around that crowd. You're in that arena, you know. So
So
that
just
that's
going as
awesome,
a
man. That's
fan, you
awesome.
can feel that energy. Yeah,
Yep,
definitely.
you definitely can feel that energy, you know. So I see in 2010 and 2011, you were ranked in the top 500 in a singles wrestling in the PWI. How did that feel, to be in that list? Even if it's the top 500, you're in the list with Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair or Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels, all these young guys. How did that feel to get to accomplish that in your career?
I mean, again, those things are to me so surreal, and I'm humble, and I take that as a blessing. uh, because that's another thing. I used to buy the magazines when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I had my little piggy bank, save my $2.50, so I could run to the convenience store and get PWI magazine or the Wrestler magazine. So now being a part of it, it's again one of those moments that life is crazy. And for me, I've got to live a lot of cool moments that I dreamed about.
Oh, that's amazing, man. I ask the talent each time they come on this show this question. If you had a choice right now to have a dream match against anyone in the business, I'm talking about WWE, NXT, AEW, New Japan, Impact, um, AEW, any organization, who would that person be?
Well, right now, it's funny you asked because a couple of weeks back, I put up a post on Twitter, and there's a gentleman by the name of the American Nightmare, Cody, and he's issuing an open challenge to a lot of the wrestlers out there, and I'm willing and able to take that challenge on, man. He's the guy that I think is one of the workhorses right now in pro wrestling, and he's the guy that I would love to mix it up with. I think it'll be some good stuff.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. Well, sir, well, I'm actually going to give you the floor to promote any upcoming events, promote your social media. The floor is yours, sir.
All right, man. I appreciate you having me, and you can find me at Pun Don Vega, Pun Don Vega at Twitter, and also on Instagram. And on Facebook, you could find me facebook.com/Punisher Don Vega. And I keep updates of upcoming events there and anything that's going on with me and pro wrestling. I keep updated.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Mr. Vega, it's been a pleasure having you on the show, sir. I wish you the best of luck in your further career, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you.
All right, take care.
All right, take care, brother.
Mr. Don Vega. This gentleman has been all over the world. He's from San Juan, Puerto Rico. He's done a lot of things in professional wrestling, wrestled with many Hall of Famers in this industry. So, thank you, fans, for joining us. As always, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and now TikTok. Yes, we do TikToks now. We're going to be doing some special things in the upcoming months. That's one you're not going to want to miss. And also, tune in this Friday, 8:30 sharp, for our amazing topic with myself and my co-host, the Whiz Kid of Professional Wrestling, Jay. Our topic is going to be the history of The Undertaker. You do not want to miss this topic. For myself, the encyclopedia of professional wrestling. I forgot to mention that. Thank you. And my colleague Jaden, the Whiz Kid of Wrestling, and my director and producer, my lovely wife Yesenia. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night, fans.